Welcome to Alcohol and Anime Night. My name is Scott, and tonight we are checking out the Jada Street Fighter 2 Cammy. This is one I've really been looking forward to. Stay tuned. Thank you for joining me for another unboxing and review. We got a slightly different camera angle. I wanted to make sure I got the arcade cabinet in on this one. And we're using a new camera, so let me know what you think about that. I also wanted to remind you that we have a unboxing of both this cabinet and the Chun-Li, so it should be up there if you want to check those videos out as well. I kind of didn't expect to be doing Street Fighter content, but hey, here it is, and we're going to do it. So we're going to check out this Cammy figure today, but I also wanted to tie it into anime in a way that there are several Street Fighter movies and series and whatnot, and during the Cammy unboxing we talked about probably the best one, which was the Street Fighter 2 movie, again up there in the description wherever this is, and that's pretty good, and it's kind of the best one, I'll be honest. It has some pretty cool elements of it, but I wanted to focus on one where Cammy was a little bit more prevalent. And she is really prevalent in a OVA that was done not too long ago. I guess it's still probably almost 10 years, but it was a Street Fighter 4 OVA, and it is one that focuses around Yuri. And so if you like that character, Cammy's in it quite a lot. It's just an OVA, so it's maybe about 40-45 minutes, but it's pretty good, and I would say it's maybe the second best out of all the Street Fighter anime related things. I'll leave a link below where you can watch it for free on YouTube until they decide to pull it off. So let's take a look at this figure from Jada. Jada kind of came out of nowhere and just started taking over the figure game. And they started with these Street Fighter 2 figures, and I think it was a really great place to start because these are figures that don't have things like guns or backpacks and things like that, where you actually have to spend a bunch of your budget on getting those things right. They could really just focus on the figures. And I want to point out that these, the Chun-Li, the Cammy, and I just recently was looking at the M. Bison, and these are available at retail stores. I saw it on the shelf at Target recently, and they're $24.99. And that's basically the price of a average G.I. Joe classified figure, same scale, 1/12 scale, but what you're not getting guns and you're not getting missile launchers and all sorts of stuff like that. That's not what these characters have. Instead, you get, in her case, two head sculpts, one with a yelling face, one with kind of almost like a kissy face. You get two hands, two sets of hands, so 4 hands total. You get the judo chop hand and then a fist, so that's 4 hands total and 2 heads. Then you also get this effect, this kick effect for several of her different moves that you can put on there. Or you can do it a different way if you want. You can play with it however you want to do it, but either way, it's something that comes with. Unlike the Chun-Li figure though, it doesn't come with a stand. However, upon further inspection, I really looked, and it's hard to see, you might not be able to see, but there actually is a hole in the effect. So if you wanted to, you probably could use Chun-Li's stand, if you already had hers, to hold up this effect. So kind of a good way to encourage people to buy the whole set, because now you can use this for multiple things. And you could make it look like a fireball, she could be doing this kind of thing, you can make it like a flaming fist. I mean, you could do just about anything to it, It really works pretty well, and not to mention that you could use it for other figures and whatnot, She could be, blowing fire out of her mouth like Dhalsim, I mean, it really, you could be doing a bunch of stuff with this. You could have a lot of fun with it. So, for $24.99, you're getting a lot. Now, here's why I think this figure is amazing. And it's not just because it's, it's a lady in a bathing suit, essentially. 2 reasons. One, I think Jada has big balls for doing these. There was definitely a way to do these and kind of make it okay. But they really stepped their game up, and they have a lot of articulation, a lot of expression in the face. They really, you could tell they wanted people to take pictures of these. They wanted the toy photographers to get in on it. And they really did a lot. And so there's a ton of detail, but this is the thing everybody wants to see. This is where they could have ruined it. This is where they could have just said, you know what, let's just gloss over that part. Like it or hate it, this is what the character is known for. This is what the character is known for, and if you can't get this part right, then it didn't work. And I love that they're not embarrassed by the human form. They're not embarrassed by what humans look like. This is what this character looks like, and I think that is excellent that they did it. It's definitely more than you see on other figures similarly. Even the way they articulated things, like I know it seems like you're being like a perv, but honestly, this is the kind of articulation that you don't usually get. Now, other people have said it better, and I'm not going to try to copy what they've said, but I did kind of doubt that it was going to be as good as it was, and it really is quite good. And I want to make just a little comparison. Again, I don't want, other people have said this better, so I'm not trying to copy them. There is a Frazetta Girls Vampirella figure, and I'm a huge Vampirella fan. I love Vampirella. Here she is on my arm. I cannot stomach the price of that figure. It is almost $70, depending on it. Now, it comes with a bunch of stuff, diorama, several different hands and faces and stuff like that. But is it enough to make it more than twice, like 3 times the price of this figure? I'm not sure it does. And that's what really bothers me about some of these characters. Now, the other thing is that Vampirella is dressed, near as makes no difference, the same as Cammy is. They are dressed very similar. They have a similar outfit. But, I feel like I'm just saying but too often. Look at the back of that Vampirella figure and tell me that they didn't do a better job on the Jada figure for $24.99 than for nearly $70 on that Vampirella figure. You tell me. I'm so impressed with this. It's a lot of fun. It's super photogenic. You can do all the cool moves. It scales with your G.I. Joe Classifieds or any of the other 1/12 scale figures. So I gotta be honest, I'm really excited. Jada has an upcoming line of Cyberpunk Edge Runners figures. You know I loved that series. The David and the Lucy, I believe, are already available, and the one that I am waiting on is that Rebecca. I believe that Rebecca is going to be the definitive Rebecca, and it'll probably make me sell off my statue that I got, the pop-up parade one that I had that we reviewed earlier, which was really good. It was a fair price for that, but if you remember, some of my complaints were that it didn't really have, she's an action character, and so the idea that she wasn't really in an action pose kind of bothered me a little bit. It's totally fine. It's definitely worth the price, but I think I can imagine this Jada one is going to come with her big fists of fury, her big mechanical fists, her shotgun, different head sculpts. I'm prepared to pay $40 for it, but I have a feeling that they're going to have a really reasonable price, and I suspect it'll also have soft goods for the jacket. Now, I'm not a soft goods guy. To me, and I know it seems so weird, once you get soft goods on a figure, to me it becomes a doll. Now, these are all dolls. These are all, every single one of these figures, they're dolls. That's what they are. Make no mistake, manly men who are playing with action figures, they're dolls. But in my mind, once there is a soft goods thing on it, then it becomes a doll. But I'm gonna be honest, it's gonna be almost an immediate pre-order for me the moment those come out for Jada. So definitely check this one out. If you find it, just pick it up. Don't think about it. If you're even remotely a Street Fighter fan, if you're even remotely a fan of the female form, basically, this one's excellent, and I can't recommend it enough. And it reminded me how much fun I've been having since I've gotten this cabinet. And I will tell you, Cammy is one of the hardest figures to beat anybody on the computer with because she's so weak. She gets beat up so easily, but I love her moves, and I always like being the underdog. So, in the Super Street Fighter 4 OVA, the one thing I noticed that was really funny is that for whatever reason, Juri looks like a JoJo character, and I don't know if they I really should look to see if they're like the same animators or some of the same people are involved, but they clearly took some inspiration from JoJo, which, now here's a hot take, not a huge fan of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I don't know, it just didn't catch me. I watched the whole first season, I think half the second season, I was like, man, it's not really for me, you know, but I'm sure there's people gonna be like burning down my house now because I don't like JoJo, but it's okay, it's just, I don't hate it, it just wasn't for me, so. Anyway, well, I've rambled on long enough. Until next time, kanpai.